And one thing I will say for your first time out here, if you're doing this for your first time, like, do not be scared when you go to do this. In this video, I'm going to show you how to restore a yellow headlight and then make it last for years to come. This is my 2006 Porsche Cayman S. So this headlight's been finished. This is perfectly clear. This has been treated, everything. I'm going to go step by step through it all. Today, we're going to be working on the driver headlight. This is a new to me headlight, so this is used, yellowing a bit, and we're going to go resurface this headlight, and then we're going to go through it step by step with all the products used, and then at the very end we're going to seal it in so that it keeps this crystal clear image forever. So the reason I'm showing you this today is because I want to make sure that by the end of this video, you've not only restored your yellow headlight to perfectly clear, but I want to make sure that it lasts for as long as possible. There's a lot of products out there that after you go redo your headlight, it may last for a month, 2 months, 3 months. But more often than not, it goes back to yellow. So if you do not seal these headlights in correctly, after you put in all this hard work, you're gonna have to do it all over again. So we're gonna prevent that today. So stay tuned and find out. All right, the first step, we're gonna take some blue tape, preferably as wide as you can. You're gonna tape around the entire headlight. Make sure that when you do go to tape the headlight, you go under the lens itself. So I'll take my first strip here. I'm going under the lens, okay? Because I don't want any of the sanding process to hit any of this paint. So do that for the entire outside. So as you can see here, there's no black paint showing. This is a rubber gasket right there, it's not paint. But there's no black paint showing around here, so that when we go to wet sand this, we do not end up sanding the paint itself. The next thing you're gonna need is 400, 800, 1500, 2000, and 3000 grit sandpaper. You're gonna take a sheet from each of these packets, put it in a bin, fill the bin up with some water, and let it soak for around 10 minutes. One thing that will help you out is having a dedicated water sprayer, so that as you're wet sanding, you can kind of spray off your material. A garden hose or a power washer will also work as well. All right, first thing I'm gonna do is just rinse off the headlight, get any dust off there. Next, I'm gonna go down to my water bucket here and find my 400 grit sandpaper and pull it out. I'll take my water sprayer, give it a little mist, and take our 400 grit paper. We're gonna start going in circles around the headlight. And what we're gonna do is try to create a slurry. So, and that slurry is gonna be consistent of pretty much clear coat coming off of the headlight. You see this milky slurry right here. Make sure you get all around. And what this is doing is it's taking off the oxidation that the sun has caused to oxidize the clear coat and the plastics from the headlight. Don't let that press too hard. I'm probably pushing down with maybe 1 or 2 pounds of pressure. The harder you press at the 400 stage, the more you're working on to do later to clean that up. So take your paper, you can kind of spray this off with your sprayer, use your power washer at this point, but you want all those particles to get washed off. Take your paper and dunk it into your bucket, and go over it again. All right, after you have sanded this with 400 grit paper, you're gonna dry it either with like a rag. I recommend you use compressed air, whatever you do. Dry it, and you're gonna see the dullness of the headlight. And you can check your work to see, you want this color to be uniformly dull at every stage. The next thing we're gonna do is bump up from 400 to 800 grit sandpaper and then repeat the process. So now we're using 800 grit sandpaper right now. So it's very even around here, but I need some more work to be done up in this area right here and down low. And what we're doing is we're leveling down the peaks and valleys of the 400 grit sandpaper with an 800. So now we're going to take a 1500 grit sandpaper and go over all the 800 and level down those peaks and valleys. All your edges. You can see why it was important to get this tape underneath the lens of the headlights so that we don't sand the paint. All right, guys, you're starting to see after the 1500 grit sandpaper, this is wet. You know, so let's go blow dry this with some air. So now we can check our work here. So there's still some pretty good, I don't want to use the word like gouges, but just bring the camera in. Maybe see some very fine lines here. So you want to try to get rid of all of that. All right, so we're going to spray the headlight, moving on to 2000, and we're going to repeat the process. Right now we're leveling out all the peaks and valleys created from the 1500 grit sandpaper. And you can see there's a lot less milky substance coming off. So there's a lot less, I'll say, clear coat or oxidized material coming off the headlights. So you know we're pretty much reaching the final stage of this process. And one thing I will say for your first time out here, if you're doing this for your first time, do not be scared when you go to do this. I think wet sanding can be a terrifying process because you got to take it down to the bare before you can make it a polished jewel again. But just know that as you work up your sandpapers, you will restore that gloss and get rid of that dullness as you go. So just have the faith, and you got to see the whole process through to the end. All right, let's go rinse this off with 2000. All right, this is it wet. Let's dry it. All right, not too bad, we're getting there. So at this point, I am going to use my, I think it's a 3000 or 5000 grit, the 3000. So I'll use the 3000 just a little bit on here. This really isn't gonna be night and day, but we got it in the bucket, so we'll use it. And everything I've used in this video will be linked in the description below. If you wanna buy it through me, that'd be great. I've put some links down there so that it's easy for you guys to purchase. And yeah, we won't spend too much time on the 3000 because kind of a diminishing return at this point. All right, so we'll do that, spray it off. Next step. All right, the next thing you're gonna need is McGuire's 110 and 210 polishing and compounds. What you're gonna do with this, these are actually going to be applied on the pad, and the 110 is getting rid of all of these sanding marks left from the 2000 or 3000 grit wet sanding. And then the 210 is gonna use on an orange foam pad to get rid of any marks left by the 110. So the 110 compound, we're gonna go into our small polishing pad drawer. We're gonna get a wool pad. I will link these wool pads in the video. This wool pad will be used with the 110. For the 210, we're gonna be using an orange foam pad as well. Now to power these pads, what I like to do is I use a 3-inch dual action polisher. This will be critical to getting rid of any of those wet sanding marks. And this will also be in the description of the video, so let's get started. I'm gonna go and use the wool pad on the headlight. So what I like to do first, just take pad and just give it a few And we're gonna start on the slowest speed. There's an indicator in the back here, speed 1. And we're gonna pretty much move the product around the headlight. And now we're gonna go to the top speed, speed 6. We're gonna move slow. We're gonna get the entire headlight, left and right. And we're gonna go up and down. We're going to overlap each pass. I'm probably pressing with maybe 5 pounds of pressure. And then on my last pass, I'm going to relieve some of the pressure off the machine. And I've got like 1 pound of pressure on the polisher. Turn off the machine with the head on the headlight. I'm gonna take some isopropyl alcohol. I'm gonna kind of cut off a lot of that polish. We're gonna use the polishing side microfiber. And let's go in circles here, okay? We're wiping off the material, flip it over, buff it to a dry, a haze, okay? Guys, look how beautiful that is, okay? That's amazing. Next thing we're gonna do is the next polish to get it really nice. All right, so now we're gonna take the wool pad off. We're gonna put the orange pad on. I've already prepped it with the material. I believe it's the Meguiar's. It's the Ultra Polish, okay? Once again, we're gonna go pat it on here. We're gonna start on the lowest speed. And we're gonna spread the product around. We're just spreading it around, nice and easy. And now we're going to crank up the speed to around 70%. When you're slow, 3 pounds of pressure, left and right, and up and down. Two passes. Relieve the pressure, bring it a little fast on this last one. Turn off the machine with it on the headlight. You can see a lot of the schmutz over there. So now we're going to take our isopropyl alcohol. Give it some squirts. Find yourself a new side on your microfiber. You're going to wipe it all away, all the residue. Flip it over, buff it dry. Okay. We'll even flip it inside for a little final buff here. I really don't want any residue on this headlight for the next step. All right, guys, that's about as good as it's ever gonna get, so let's go seal it in. All right, we've done all this amazing work to this headlight. It's pretty much crystal clear. How do we keep it this way for as long as possible? You can use a 2K clear coat, which I've linked in the description below, which kind of like a spray can, two-part clear coat, which is UV rated. You can spray the headlight. You gotta tape the car off, all this plastic sheeting. That's one way. Another way, part 2, is you can use a vinyl, okay? So on the passenger headlight, I've actually put a Expel clear bra on the headlight itself. The third thing you can do is use a really nice ceramic coat, okay? This cost me around $300 for this vial. This is a marine grade. It's very thick. It's It's a lot thicker than an automotive clear coat. So I'm gonna use this on my headlight here. I will also link this in the description below. I'll also give you a recommendation on what to use if you don't want to spend $300 on a vial. There's a really good option on Amazon, and I'll show it on the screen right now. This is a great product. It's a great price. I've used it before, and I would recommend this for anyone doing this headlight at home. So, shake this up. Probably use like just a couple. That's honestly plenty. Like that was more than enough to cover this headlight. So we're gonna go up and down. Okay. Up and down. A little goes a long way. You do not need a lot of product. You could probably do, I'm going to exaggerate here, probably 1,000 headlights with that vial, okay? That's meant to pretty much coat like several cars, okay? Left and right.
You'll feel the resistance of the sponge applying.
Okay, yep, exactly. So now we're going to go, you can see a little hazing on there. Bring the camera in. You're going to see some like oil streaking on the headlight a little bit. And you're going to wait around 1 minute, 60 seconds. And you're going to buff it off with a microfiber. All right, now this is kind of like hazed a little bit to dry. You pretty much want to get your eye at different angles in the light. And you're going to go level it down. You're going to feel the microfiber kind of like tug on the headlight. Don't let this sit for a long time. Again, like literally 60 seconds is all you need. And now you have a ceramically sealed headlight, okay? If you want to do a second application, you can wait an hour in between coats, which we'll do. And do not expose this headlight to any water for 48 hours, okay? And if you have any questions at all, put them in the description of the video. Happy to answer. And any products used in this video will be linked in the description as well. And we'll see you next time. And there's our before and after, okay guys? So I haven't cleaned the car off because again, we do not want to expose the ceramic coat to any water for 24 hours. And yeah, so this one has a 3M or XPEL clear bra on it. And this one's gonna be ceramic coated. This will last for a very long time, and I'll report back in the years to come to see who failed first. But this coating will last you years, and this should not and will not yellow for years to come.